Oh yeah, it's intimate. We're on the ground here together. Nothing wrong with that. Down here, talking about games, talking about love, life, cheese. Damn, Nick, you ruined the moment. Crap.
3, 2, 1, bro.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nick Murphy. I'm one half of the Brothers Murph, and this is What's on That Shelf. Look at this shelf behind me. There's stuff on there. Let's talk about it. What's on the Shelf is where we just go through a different shelf on our shelf. We have the Cadillac shelf, so they're so perfectly square here, and they're going to be talking about this one right here. And I'm down here on the floor because it's only the second one up. So we're going to go from here, pew, over to there, pew. First thing over here is going to be New York Slice. New York Slice is such a good game. This has become my favorite, like, filler game. And it's weird that a filler game is this big, but it really, really is. This is a wonderful, easy to learn I Split You Choose game. And I Split You Choose, in my opinion, is the most underused mechanic. I did a metagame minute on it recently, and I really believe that. And I Split You Choose is just great. So this, you are, whoever is the slicer, the first player, is going to make a pizza. They're going to have pizza slices, and they're just going to randomly shuffle them together and make an 11-piece pizza. And then however many players there are in the game, the slicer is going to split the pizza into that many portions. So if it's a 3-player game, he's going to split, or she, is going to split the pizza into 3 portions. And then there's also always a special order that goes along with the pizza. And the special order could be endgame scoring. It could be like some kind of like little special ability that's like a one-off, allow you to grab stuff earlier or later, all these different kinds of things. So once the slicer slices the pizza into the portions that they want, and the portions do not have to be equal, they can be whatever they want, then people start picking portions, and the slicer picks last. So in a 3-player game, the slicer slices it, and then the player to their right picks the first portion, and then the next player picks the next portion, and then the slicer gets whatever's left. So it's a great balance of trying to give your opponents enough of what they want so that they pick the portions that you want them to pick, while still giving you enough of what you want so you don't get stuck with a bunch of crap you don't need. It's a really great game, super simple, plays 2 to 6, 30 minutes with teaching. Great game, great filler. Mwah, love it. All right, going down the line, this is actually, with the exception of this one down here, this is actually kind of a new shelf. A lot of new games in here, which is great. This one is Flatline. Flatline is a sequel to the game Fuse. Fuse is a great little co-op by Renegade Games, where you are rolling die trying to defuse bombs. It's a real-time 10-minute game, real crazy, real all over the place, people screaming, everyone trying to get everything done in time. Very tough, great game. This is a sequel to that game. Flatline is a game where it's in this, it takes place, it's cool thematically because it takes place literally directly after Fuse. When Fuse ends, the bombs blow up and they injure a bunch of people, and all those people now start coming into the Flatline, I guess, hospital. So they're coming into the hospital, and you're going to be trying to heal all of those patients. And you do it in a very similar way that you do in Fuse. You're rolling die, and the die have different symbols on them, and all the different patients take certain things to heal all of their maladies. So it might take this orange symbol, a pink symbol, and a white symbol, and they have all different kinds of requirements in terms of where sometimes everyone needs to contribute to that particular malady. Sometimes it has to only be one person. Sometimes it has to be specifically 2 people. And so you're rolling all these die. So you kind of make a plan of like, okay, we want to try and get this done, and then this done, and then this done. You make a little plan, but then you roll your die, and you kind of have to see if the die that you roll are going to work with your plan. But you don't have very long to check. And that's because the part where you roll the die and assign the die to all the different workers is only 1 minute long. So it's that kind of craziness of Fuse where you're rolling die and you're on a time crunch. You have to get stuff done in time. It's like that, except for it happens only in 1 minute increments. And so I love this game. I like it a lot more than Fuse. I really do like Fuse. But I like this game because the craziness and the high stress of it is all done in 1 minute increments, and it doesn't sit so heavy on you. Like after Fuse, you gotta take a breather and just be like, whew, whew. Flatline doesn't do that to you. It's a really, really fun, really gorgeous cooperative game, becoming one of my favorite cooperative games. I really, really, really love it. Mwah. And that is Flatline. Next is, again, another brand new game. This is Pagoda. Pagoda is a two-player only game. I do love two-player only games because usually, as we always say, it's just Mike and I playing for the most part. And this is a two-player game that one of our followers, named Sakura, always talks about. Always talks about. And she was actually nice enough to send us this game because she loves it so much and she knows that we love good two-player games. And Pagoda is a game where you are building pagodas. Pagodas are these towers right here. So in the game, what you're doing is you are getting these little columns, like these little, like I think they're hexagonal or octagonal little columns in different colors, like green, blue, purple, that kind of stuff. And different floors of the pagoda require different colored columns. So the floor might be blue, and then the next columns and the next floor might have to be green. So you are essentially turning in cards. It's kind of a set collection game. You're collecting these colored different cards, and you're turning them in to put the different colored columns on the top of the floor, and then you're adding another floor on top of that. And then once you get to the top of 4 floors, you put the roof on top. You put the little roof, and then you put the kind of like antenna or the tower part of it. I'm not entirely sure exactly what the official name of this is. So you build it up, and then you build the top. And I don't know if you can see, but you can kind of see right here. It actually is a cool kind of 3D board. They end up being about this big when you're done. And it's really, really great. And it's really gorgeous. And it's set collection. The cool thing is whenever you build a floor, you get a special ability. And there, I believe, is 4 different colors. Or, there's more than that. There's 5, I believe. And whenever you build like a red floor or a green floor, you get the red or the green ability. And that's cool because that allows you to manipulate the cards. You're like, oh, I don't have the cards I need. Oh, I can use my gold ability and discard a bunch of cards and then draw new ones and hopefully get some stuff that you need. And you can do a bunch of cool combos. You're like, oh, I use this ability, then do this, and use this ability. And you can put forward a lot of cool little combos to get the stuff that you need to get done. It's really intriguing. Surprisingly, a lot of strategy in it. Great game. Thank you so much, Sakura, for sending us this game. We really, really love it. I love this little 2-player game. Gorgeous. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. We are on to another new game. There's a whole bunch of new stuff, and then an old thing over. Oh my gosh. This is Space Bass, or Space Base, if you're not cultured like me. So Space Bass is a game by John D. Clare. And the reason why I know that, I mean, I know some of the designers on the box, but the reason I specifically know that and bring that up is because our friend Shay, who lives 1 sandwich away, and what that means is that it takes him one time he was walking to our apartment, and it took him the time to eat 1 sandwich. So now that's a new form of measurement. He is 1 sandwich away. He lives right down the street. Our friend Shay, who streams with us fairly often, he knows John D. Clare. He's met him a few times. John D. Clare is also the designer of this thing right here, which is Mystic Vale. He created that game too, and he also created this one. And so our friend Shay had an extra copy of this game, and so he said, hey, do you want me to bring over Space Base? We can play Mystic Vale on the stream, and then play his brand new game, Space Base, and then you can have this copy afterwards. And we were like, heck yeah, totally want to do that. So that's what we did. We streamed both John D. Clare's games on our Twitch stream, and John D. Clare was actually in the chat answering questions, talking about his games, talking about his process, which was super cool. My favorite thing in the whole world is when the designers of the games or the publishers pop up in the chat and talk and take questions. It's just such a cool experience that doesn't happen in many hobbies, and it can totally happen in this one, and that's super fun. But this is a great engine-building game set in space. A lot of people compare it to Machikoro. I've never played Machikoro, but a lot of people say it's better than Machikoro, which is great, because I like better than Machikoro. Sure. It's a great little engine builder where you're getting a bunch of different ships that go in your space base, or space base, if you're cultured. They go in your space base, and they all have a different number. The numbers are numbered 1 through 12, because there's 2 die in the game that you're constantly rolling, so you can have values 1 through 12. So all the ships that are in your space base are on the numbers. So when you roll the die, whatever numbers you get to activate those ships. So if you roll a 6 and you roll 3 threes, so the value is 6, but you actually rolled 3 threes, you can either activate your card in your 6 slot or activate your threes twice. Or if you did a 4 and 2, you could do a 6 and then or a 4 and then a 2. And it's super cool because you're always doing stuff and you kind of have to decide what things are more beneficial to you. But what I really, really love about the game is when you get a new ship. So say I'm going to take this ship and I'm going to put it in my number 6 slot. The card that's already there, the ship that's already there, then goes underneath my spas. And a bit of it sticks out. And that bit that sticks out is the color is red. And on other people's turns, if they roll that value, you get to do that red part of the card that's sticking out of your spas. So if on my turn I had replaced the 6, and so my old ship is behind my spas, and then Mike on his turn rolls a 6, I get to do that, which is great because on your turn, not always, but many, many times, especially halfway through and later in the game where you've switched out a lot of stuff, almost on every single buddy's turn, you're still getting to do stuff. You're still getting to activate cards. You're still getting money. You're still getting technology. You're still getting different things. And it's cool because it keeps you engaged. So even if you're playing a 4 or 5 player game, you're always doing stuff. You're still always engaged. You're not just sitting there waiting around for your turn to roll your die, make your engine different, and then sit there and wait for your turn. You're always doing stuff. You're just boom, 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 boom. And I really, really like that. I like that. I don't like downtime. I think downtime is the biggest detriment to all games. Having a lot of downtimes murders games for me, absolutely. And this game has virtually none, and I love that. It's a great engine builder, wonderful, better Machikoro as far as I can tell, and you know what? Good. John DeClaire is an awesome dude, really, really nice guy. Space, and it's brand new. It came out a couple weeks ago. Go get it. It's wonderful. Okay. We did all the old stuff. Now we did all the new stuff. Now let's do an oldie but a goodie. I hate tins. I hate that sound. That's fine. But I do like this game. This game is Forbidden Desert. Forbidden Desert is a game by Matthew Leacock, the gentleman who did Forbidden Island, which was kind of a prequel to this game, and then also Pandemic, which is right over there. So, Forbidden Desert is a game, and it's similar to Pandemic. It is very similar to Pandemic. But it's different enough where I think it's worth it to have both, frankly. It's a game where you are stranded in a forbidden desert, you and the other different characters that you can choose from. It's a co-op like Pandemic. And you essentially are rolling around this desert, this forbidden desert, and you are essentially trying to find the different parts to your flying machine. And once you get the parts for your flying machine, you get to fly away and you win the game. Now, you don't know where they are. There's a bunch of tiles out that make, I think, a 25 by 25 grid or something like that. And they're all face down. So you have to go explore and try to find the stuff. But the whole time, there's a big old sandstorm right in the middle. And the sandstorm is moving around. It's moving around the whole board. And wherever it moves, sand gets put on those tiles that move. So there's more and more sand coming on the board. You're just getting buried. And you're just getting absolutely just... It just gets, like Pandemic, it ramps up and it gets harder and harder and harder as you go along. And it's very, very cool. It's hard to describe, but the way the items are found is super cool and super innovative. I really like it because no matter what, the items are always in different spots and they're always moving around. And it's very, very cool, very, very clever. And it's that plus the moving storm that differentiates it enough from Pandemic where I think it's worth it, because a lot of the characters are very similar to Pandemic. The general feel of it, of adding sand on, feels very much like adding cubes like in Pandemic. But again, I like the fact the storm is moving around, and I really, really like the what was I just talking about? The movement of the items you're trying to find. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. It's been a long day. Forbidden Desert is a really great game. I like it a lot. Ultimately, I'd always choose Pandemic over it if I had to choose between the two, but it's relatively cheap. It's great. It comes in a tin, which is unfortunate, but hey, what are you going to do? That is Forbidden Desert. Mwah. Love it, love it, love it. So look, we have an empty shelf and stuff behind it. That is going to be this shelf right here. It's a lovely shelf, a lot of new stuff, which is cool. And yeah, that is what is on this shelf. That was what was on that shelf. Take a picture of your shelf and send it to me. To my personal email. Anyway, have a good night, have a good day, have a good afternoon. I hope you all are having a lovely day. Thanks so much for tuning in to What's on That Shelf. Have a good day. Bye. These end bumpers are always exactly the same. We're always sponsored by Restoration Games, and we always have funny little videos over here that you can check out that relate to this video. But you know why it's really always the same? Because we live in LA, and it never changes here. It's 85 and sunny every day, including right now. You know it. Check the weather. Middle of the night, don't care. 85!